Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final race of ILR2 for Season 5. We're at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Tonight, joining me for the final time this season is Burnout. How are you doing, Burnout?
I'm doing alright, Dom. How are we doing tonight?
Not bad, mate, not bad. Hopefully, we'll be in for a cracking last race to round up this fantastic season we've had throughout the entire F1 2018 cycle. 2 seasons on this game for ILR, and we're rounding it up with season 5 here for the final race on this game before F1 2019, which comes out in a week's time. So, let's get things rolling. We're kind of in the lobby right now, probably waiting for a few more people to join. We'll be heading into qualifying any moment now. But last week at America, SHZ Overkills, or actually now VSR Overkill, should I say, as he's joined VSR recently. He was crowned the champion of the season. He ended up finishing third in that race and actually clinched the title after the Jackster failed to actually finish, actually finished 13th outside the points after a collision early in the race. So he was able to clinch the title, and well done to him once again, like we said last week. And McLaren also clinched the Constructors' Championship as well last week. So those two championships were all wrapped up with one race to go. So in Brazil, it's all going to be all heart, all guns blazing for everybody. Nothing to lose. I'm sure Overkills will be doing, I think it mentioned last week, last to first. So plenty of interesting things to watch out. No one's going to care going into this race. Everyone's going to go absolutely for it. And just try and I think everybody's going to try and win this race basically. So it could be in for a bit of a cracking race because no one is going to be going, oh, I can't risk anything because the championship's on, because there is no championship left on the boards. But for other people down the order in the championship right now, there are fights going on in there for the top five, getting into top five. So Maestro, for example, and Mulder are battling away for the third place in the championship. And even Mulder is actually battling away with, I think he's 22 points down on the Jackster, so he could even get second place today. The Jackster doesn't finish, but Mulder actually has to win the race. So there's still a fight on for second place in the Drivers' Championship, and even third and fourth. So positions in the Drivers' Championship as they stand are Overkill. Overkill is obviously winning the championship last time out. We've got Jackster in second, Mulder in third, Maestro in fourth, B.O.I. Hamilton in fifth, IK in sixth, The Amazement in seventh, Joss Stewart in eighth, Chris Jones in ninth, and Bromson in 10th. Aaron Duzzler in 11th, ST Will in 12th, GSY Ginger Ninja in 13th, WOR Clone Trooper 14th, Fierce Kushmania in 15th, Kaiser in 16th, Antifigan in 17th, Minty in 18th, Nathan Akin in 19th, and the Humperdinck in 20th. So that is our championship order as it stands. But it's a big fight still. Things can change in that top sort of that whole championship order can actually change. Apart from P1. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, I think there's still a little bit of a battle going on for P2 in there as well. But generally, people are not going to care about championship. I mean, some people care about the championship position with our Drivers' Championship, but in terms of constructors, I mean, really, the only people who really would have cared in this championship would have been Toro Rosso and McLaren, because they are such a class of the field. But Toro Rosso still have a battle on their hands against Sauber, who are third in the constructors right now. So Toro Rosso still got a battle on for second place in the constructors championship. But generally, that is kind of the constructors and the drivers and everything like that all wrapped up. We're going to this race. Really, no one's going to care and think about championship position. Really, it's all about just absolutely going for it for this last race of the season and the last race on F1 2018. So, people, we've got 22 players in the lobby, have we? Or was that? No, 16 in the lobby. So 16, we've got 14 people racing. That isn't too bad. Pretty good numbers. So we're actually all ready up. I think we're all ready up for qualifying, so we'll be able to get this show started. But Ben, talk me through Brazil, the history, and what it's like to race around Brazil.
Oh, Jesus. So Brazil's probably like one of the most historic tracks on the calendar. Obviously, it's held some of the best races probably ever. I think one of the best races was probably the 2016 race. Seeing some really, it was a really wet race, and seeing some really amazing overtakes especially from Max Verstappen and Red Bull. But it's a very short circuit. I think on this game, I think a good lap time's a 1 minute 10. So there's not a lot of room for error. Obviously, one of the most crucial overtaking sections is probably turn 1 and turn 4, I think it will be. Obviously, very, very a tricky track to get right. You got a lot of twisty sections. It's two very slow sector, um, but very easy to overtake. I would say it's quite wide, so we should see a very, very interesting race. We're hoping to see a lot of overtakes tonight.
Definitely, yeah. Should be interesting. Obviously, that we mentioned the long straights we've got around here. We've got obviously that main pit straight, and we've got obviously the second straight after actually wrapping up the first sector. So we've got quite a lot of overtaking opportunities around here as well. And DRS will be very important in terms of people staying within DRS to be able to have a go and overtake. If you lose DRS around here, you're pretty much buggered. As now Overkill retires, but he's doing our probably last two, whatever it will be. So he'll probably try and get up the order as much as he can. So he'll be one to watch coming through the field. So that's pretty interesting to see how that all pans out. But we've got people out on circuit now. Jostu's going out there. Who else is out there at the moment? We've got B.R. Hamilton out there in McLaren. He's the first man out there. So we'll see. He's been a man on form recently as well. B.R. Hamilton won last time out in America. So again, he's definitely a man on form, and he's got a good chance. He's been really improving since sort of, I would say, Monza time. He's been on an improvement streak, so he's one definitely to watch tonight. Definitely would be probably going for the victory tonight, I think. Mulder as well. Obviously, Mulder definitely one to watch, and Jackster. Jackster, can't rule him out. Definitely, yeah, he's had a bit of poor run of form recently, ever since Germany. He disqualified in Germany because of a pit lane glitch. He DNF'd in Italy, and he came 13th in America, but he did get on the podium in Japan. But obviously, vitally for him, today it would be nice to finish the season on a high after losing championships. So, B.R. Hamilton now, he's starting a lap now, he's in on the DRS, so let's ride on board with McLaren driver and see how he goes in his first initial lap. He brakes before the 50-meter board's down into third gear, turns it in, and then wants a good right line through turn 2. And it's really easy to cut that turn 2 and actually extend turn 3, the exit of turn 2 as well. So, but he's not really pushing it completely on this lap. You can see the DRS is staying at 75%, so he's pretty much just not really pushing it completely. And you can tell he's actually, I think he's probably not really pushing it that hard. He's probably backed out of it because I think he might just cut that turn 2. We'll keep with him. Yeah, it's definitely a back off lap. He isn't pushing it completely. At this stage of the session, of course, like we've said so many times, track isn't completely optimal, so people will be just trying to find the limits at this point. But as the session goes on, track will get better and better and better, and we'll see those times start to tumble as well. Weather-wise, we don't know what the weather is for the race. It can rain here in Brazil, and we've noticed it a lot of times online. It can actually rain, so we could be in for, if it is a wet race, could be in for a bit of a thriller to end the season. But hope maybe for a dry race we can actually see some pretty interesting overtakes and not get too many DNFers. But B.R. Hamilton completes the first lap, and it's a 1 minute 9.562. But I don't think that was a complete push lap, but we'll keep on bullying him right now. He didn't go top, so he did cut where I thought he cut, which was turn 2. As now my F1 Maestro goes top on a 1 minute 7.442. So let's keep on board with B.R. Hamilton for this lap. Let's see how he is in the first sector. He's up by 3 tenths on his previous best. Turns it in nicely. Not too wide, and he's looking pretty good. He's pretty safe in the limits as we head up to this uphill, and it goes double rights here, so pretty tricky. In 5th gear, turns it in. Nice line indeed, doesn't run it too wide. Down into 2nd gear, turns it in. Want to be patient on the power here, it's really important in 3rd gear. Be very patient, you get a little bit of oversteer, you see. If you get too impatient, you lose the rear end. And then down into 2nd gear, tight line, get a better exit, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, now flat out in this left-hander. And then we head up to the last proper corner, down into 4th gear, turns it in, a little bit of a lock on the front left, and then it sort of swoops round, and this is classed as a corner in actual real life F1, so this one here, and then basically like a little kink here, DRS, and then running to the line. Let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be a 1 minute 7.6, that puts in the P2 behind F1 Maestro for now, but I'm sure more time in that lap from B.R. Hamilton. But what we've experienced around here at Brazil is very tight margins. People think the times are going to be very tight indeed. So it's anyone's real game. If you really mess up your lap, you could be the best from either P1. You could be all the way down to P5 if you really mess up the lap. So it's really important to get the lap absolutely nailed around here. let's have a little look. Who else is out there? We've got Mold out there right now on a lap. He's on the medium. A lot of people set the times on the super soft, but let's keep with Mulder. Let's see. He's actually on a flying lap, so he's rounding up the lap now. He hits DRS and then running it to the line. Let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be a 1 minute 8.2. Puts him into P5 actually for now. So here he is. Who else is that? They've got IK out there. How's he getting on? Is he starting a lap? He is probably going to start a lap right about now. He's on the super soft, so he's another one to watch. He's also got a pretty good pace. He's pretty handy when he gets it right. He had a good race in America last time out. He finished... Where did he finish? I think he finished second place. Yeah, that's right. He finished second. So, again, has had a few podiums this season. He pulled off a really good strategy last week. I think he started on the old soft tyres and went and switched to, I think, the soft it was. He managed to do it for the whole race, and he managed to come home with a second place and got rewarded for that. But he could be on if he can keep his head cool, and if he has the pace around here, he might be in for a potential top 5 finish if things will work out for him, and maybe another podium. But he's just now coming through. It's tricky right-hander, very tricky on throttle, and flat through this left-hander. Doesn't really show us entirely where he is in terms of the respect of everybody else, but now run to the line. And here it comes across the line now. It's going to be a 1 minute 7.3. Puts him in the fastest lap of the session so far. So good lap there by him. Half a tenth in front of F1 Maestro. So very good indeed. Maestro is back out there again. Dazzler's out there on a lap as well. You know what? Let's keep with Aaron Dazzler for now in the Haas. Had quite a low-key season. Has a few point finishes. He actually finished, if I'm right in reading that, he actually finished second in Japan. So again, he had a low-key season. Got a podium, but he's had the pace, but I think he's been relatively unlucky. He's got... Oh, he loses the rear end there. Look at that. He's nearly put it in the wall there, but he managed to save it. Luckily for him, he actually saved that, because it would have ended really badly if he didn't. So that was very lucky indeed. He's now bringing it to the line. It won't be a great lap now, because he's lost so much time from that half spin. And he's boxing it in, so he's not going to complete that lap. Maestro out there, again, Hampton out there again as well, and Ninja. Mulder, how's he getting on? He's continued on for another lap. He's actually improving on this one. It's a 1 minute 8.0. He stays in P6 for now, but another improvement. That's 4 laps on those medium tyres. So it's almost as if he's doing like a practice session here. He's just doing loads of laps, getting a feel for the circuit, and he'll be boxing it in and probably stopping on a set of super softs towards the end of the session. F1 Maestro, how's he getting on? He's on a lap right now. Let's keep him board with the Ferrari driver. Last season's champion, season 4 champion. Unfortunately, wasn't able to kind of maintain his title and actually keep hold of the title and defend his title. But unfortunately, he is definitely talented, and hopefully these are the last few races on F1 2018 for him, and actually in league racing in general for him, apparently. After following him on Twitter, he's after Sunday's race, for AOR, indeed, he's not going to continue racing, so this would be one of his last races ever. Ninja, how's he getting on across the line? It's a 1 minute 7.4, puts him into P2, so slightly off IK's lap, but IK's lap there has been a pretty good delta, and a pretty good banker for everybody else to beat. So yeah, it's not been beaten yet with 9 more minutes to go. Plenty of time though, of course, with track evolution and things like that. Has beer arm to get on. He's been held up on this lap, so it's probably not going to be fast. He can get a mega slipstream down here though, but it's not. He's down in that second sector, so I don't think he's going to improve at all here. Here he comes across the line. What's it going to be? And it's a 7.2. It does actually improve. That middle sector wasn't the best, but that toe he got from Chris must have really helped him. That's put him into top on 1 minute 7.295. It's a good lap time by McLaren driver, but I'm sure there's a bit more time in it. But whether he gained the time that he lost in the middle sector on that straight, I would probably guess to actually assume that he did. Josu, how's he getting on? He's actually on a lap as well. Again, another driver who's very good in Season 4, but hasn't been quite low-key this season, around in 8th place in the championship on 44 points. But he's definitely got speed, this boy. But yeah, I think he's been relatively, again, very unlucky. And the field is very tight on pace. Everyone's pretty closely matched. So, again, I think you expect sort of the tight orders, really. Josu spin it around now. Let's see how he's getting on with this lap. A little bit of oversteer through there. The amazement's on wet again, apparently. He did that in America. Oh, it's Joss who loses it there on the grass. Off he goes. So it's easy done, though. He's reset his car to the track. Let's have a look. So Jackster's running this up here. We haven't seen anything from him. Let's see what he can do. As we're going to be at 1 minute 8.1 on the medium. Slightly off what Mulder achieved on that. More than an 8.0 on the medium. So good. Not a bad lap by the Jackster. But again, he'll be probably pitting in this lap. Putting on a fresh set of super softs and going again. We've got Mulder out there on a set of super softs now. And so is Kaisi. We've got Meister out there on super softs as well. He's going to be going for a lap here as well. He's got the Force, I think the Force India behind him here. So I don't know if the Force India is actually on a lap. It's the Humperdinck. Yeah, he's backed out of it, but he's just sitting behind Maestro for now. Let's have a look. So Ginger Ninja out there. He's starting one, but Maestro, let's go on board with Maestro again. Let's see if he can improve on that 1 minute 7.4. So breaking into turn 1. Breaks very late indeed, and then nails the apex nicely. Doesn't cut the second part, and doesn't extend the entry into turn 3. Hits the DRS down this straight. And now brakes just before the 50-meter board down into 4th gear, turns it in. Again, not running it too wide, and then through this left-hander, and now the double right-hander goes uphill, double right, down into 5th gear, turns it in. Very careful on throttle. He's very good on throttle. Down into 2nd gear. Actually, briefly into 1st with the car's nose in. Good traction through there. And now this tight right-hander down into 2nd gear. Turns it in nicely. Needs a good exit here. A little bit of oversteer. And now this flat-out left-hander. Now heading up into the penultimate corner now. 3rd gear is it. And now gets a good run. Now it's just flat out for the rest of this lap. So let's see where it's going to put them for our driver. Middle sector was 16.5. This should be good. Here he comes to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 7.4. And that's the thing. That last sector, if you get the slipstream and the toe, you're going to really be right up there. And that's what's happened here with B.R. Hamilton. You got that toe. He was down in that middle sector by at least half a second. But he gained it all in that straight. So that's been the difference, as the amazement is on the wets. Aaron does it on a lap in the Haas. Getting lots of understeer seemingly. Not a great middle sector. He is up. See what he can do. He hasn't set a lap time yet. He needs to put one on the board really. And really after this, if he wants to get another lap in, actually, no, you know what? He pits in straight away. He needs to pit in straight away. Get another set of sips off on and go again. IK out there, but he's not really on it. I think he made a mistake on his lap. Who else? The Jackster again. Looking like he's run out of fuel. He's be pitting it in. I think everybody else is in the pit lane apart from Rebecca Jones, but I'm sure he'll be heading into the pit lane too very soon. So everyone kind of in the pits. IK is out there right now, but he's on an out lap. So we'll see. We'll keep on board with him because he's going to be the one to watch in the last 4 minutes. Truck's going to be at his absolute best at this point. So he's just coming around. I think he must have cut on his first flying lap here. So he'll be going again. Be our first man to watch, and he'll be laying down the marker. And he's got no traffic around him, so it's perfect opportunity. However, I tell you, would be best down this straight. But let's run on board with the Williams driver. No, he pits in. No, he's going to get another set of tyres on. So he isn't actually going to be doing a lap. He's going to be coming back in. And everybody else is in the pit lane. Kaisi is out there on his super soft. He's on an out lap. We've got the Humperdinck out there on the soft. So he's going for a different strategy here. People will either start on the soft or the super soft. And it looks like Humperdinck is like on that soft tyre. So he's setting his hopes on those. So different strategy by him, as the management seemingly likes his wet tyres. Kaisi now out of the last corner now. We'll be firing it away and going for this lap. So let's keep with the Red Bull driver. Let's see where he can go. Kaisi currently down in 16th in the championship. Only scored points on 2 occasions, being in the Australian Grand Prix and last time's American Grand Prix. He's on 7 points here, so it'd be nice to see if we can actually score some more points here. So around turn 3 and then hits DRS down this straight. Let's see if he's up on his previous best. Doesn't tell me, but he's done 16.7 in the first sector. Turns it in a little bit of understeer, not hitting the apex as well as he could have, and runs it really wide. So that would have cost him a little bit of lap time. Double right-hander down into 5th gear, turns it in. And yeah, looking like he's a bit not so certain. He's backed out of that. Yeah, he's run it really wide there. Not so certain as he may have retires from the session. So it looks like he's coming from the back as well. Anybody else? Got Maestro out there on laps. We've got Josu out there on outlap as well. Humperdinck is on a flying on his soft. Let's see what he can do. He's down. He's not actually up. But Mulder will look to try and do a lap on the soft. Let's keep on board with the Toro Rosso driver. Turn 1, turn 2, executed very well. Good exit for turn 3, and then the DRS activated. And that's going to be really important in the race, getting a good exit for turn 3. Actually get out of turn 2 into turn 3. 17.2 in the first sector, not so great, not the best we've seen, but you expect that on these harder tyres in comparison to the super soft. Double right-hander down into 5th gear, hands it in, up to 6th, mid-corner, and runs it too wide there. He backs way out of that, so that's not worked out for him at all. I'd have stayed in 5th gear there if that was me, so that 6th gear change-up probably threw him off a little bit. And everybody else on out laps. You've got IK on coming up to, I think he's on a lap. Let's keep on board with him. He's going on to 1, and Maestro as well will be actually on 1. So let's keep on board with Maestro once again. Got a bit of traffic in front of him, so this won't be ideal. We've got a McLaren in front of him from what I can tell. It's BOI Hamilton, so this is what he doesn't need, but BOI Hamilton will let him go nicely. It'll be a bit of a distraction for Maestro, but he's cleared okay. A little bit of oversteer on the exit. That is going to probably lose him a tenth or two at least. Now I'm going to go flat out for the left-hander now. Let's see what he is like in the second sector. What's he going to be? A 16.5, so it is on par, but I'm sure there's a bit more in it. Last corner, and they're rounding up the lap now through these flat-out left-handers. And then the run to the line now. Let's see what it's going to be for the Ferrari driver. Across the line, it's going to be a 7.2. It is provisional pole, so just about on pole position. So good lap there from F1 Maestro. Anyone else? BOI Hamilton is going to be starting a lap. IK is on 1 right now. Now Aaron Dazzler goes top on a 7.0. That's a very good lap by the Haas driver. Very good stuff indeed. IK, what's he going to be able to do? He's not actually on an improvement, so he's not one to watch now. So BOI Hamilton is out there on a flying lap. Who else can do it? Just do the same. We've got Jackson down there on the soft, so he won't be troubling it either. So it is going to be BOI Hamilton or IK who'll be able to go a little bit faster. And Josu even as well. He's on a 7.2. So now BOI Hamilton through the double right-handers now. Now into this tight right-hander down into second gear. Need to be very patient with the throttle. Up the third, carrying the speed. Careful on the throttle here as well. Not too much oversteer. So Jackson retires from the session. That's him done and dusted. He's down in, where is he qualified? Jackson in 9th place, so he's inside the top 10 on the soft tyre. Fast left-hander now for BOI Hamilton. Was it going to be in 17.0? This isn't great, but has he got more? He got less swing on the car. Is he going to have better strong speed out of this last corner? Let's see what he can do. So now, flat-out left-handers now. What's it going to be from the McLaren driver? It's picking up a bit of a toe from someone else in front. It's going to be a 1 minute, 7.1, and it's not pole. That means that Dazzler potentially has this in the bag. What about Josu? Is he on a lap? No, he isn't. IK is on 1. Let's see what he can do. Can he get on pole? Across the line he comes. It's a 7.2, and it's not pole. It's 3rd place. But that means, I think, unless the Humperdinck can upset things, 16.5 in the middle. Has he got less swing on the car? Can he get it on pole? It might be tough, but he's going to be up there, judging by his middle sector. Here he comes, DRS activated. Here he comes across the line. What's it going to be? As a 7 point, I think that was a 7.8 in the end. That wasn't enough. That means that Aaron Dazzler is on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And that is a surprise pole. So well done to him. Ben, do you want to take us through the order?
It will indeed. And what a pole from Dazzler. I mean, last race of the season, he pulls out a stonker of a lap. But yeah, Aaron Dazzler taking pole position here in Brazil with BOI Hamilton just behind him. in P2. P3 is LA in the Williams. F1 Maestro in 4th. P5 is Josu. 6th is Mulder. 7th is Ginger Ninja. 8th Humperdinck. 9th is Michael Jones. 10th the Jackster. 11th Kaiser. 12th Blumson. 13th the Amazement. 14th Overkills. I think that is it. Yeah. So what a good qualifying that was for Dazzler. It's really important quality section that was for him. Um, he's got to make the most of that start though, for sure. So got to make the most of that track position. If he can get a gap, should be able to get a pretty good position here.
It'd be good for him, yeah, definitely on strategy. I mean, there's some split strategies going on. People starting on the soft, most people starting on super soft. So, he's in a good position here. He can lead it out of turn one. If hopefully he can lead it out of turn one. And I mean, the race is not over at turn one because, as we've mentioned before, there's loads of straights around there. It is like straight line speed heaven, where basically people can sit in the slipstream for the whole race. So it's not over yet. But you know, I think he can pull this out of the bag. So formation lap now for everybody, and Dazzler will lead them away from this formation lap, and let's hope for a good result for him because I think he might be in for a very good result to run off a very challenging season for him. As I mentioned earlier on, he got that podium in Japan. And he got points in the last race in America, so he has been there or thereabouts. But he really needs to just bring it home tonight, I think, and bring home some good points.
Yeah, absolutely. I am quite surprised by that actually. But it's good. It's a good surprise. Really good lap by him, and hopefully he can convert it.
Yeah, exactly. I think B.R. Hamilton was not very good in the second sector. It was about half second off most people, and then he carried it out, pretty much getting it back in the last sector. So it looks like he's probably running a little bit less wing than everybody else, whereas everybody else might have opted for more downforce for that, particularly for that tight and twisty second sector. But we'll see how that all plays out because that might mean that B.R. Hamilton has a very slippery car in a straight line and would be very quick when it comes to DRS activation points. But Dazzler out of the last corner properly, and now it's just going to be him rounding up for the formation lap as we head into the last race of the season. 36 laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and now it's the final Shazam for everybody in this league, and the final Shazam for F1 2018. So everyone's lining up on the grid now for the final time, and we'll probably see a very cooking race. Nothing gonna be. It's gonna be all guns blazing for everybody, and nothing's be held. No one's gonna hold back on this one. No one's got nothing to lose. It's all game on for this final race. So everyone's just lining up now. Everyone is lined up now. So here we go. Raving for 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race of ILR2 Season 5. And it's lights out, and away we go. And a pretty good start from the front too, actually. Dazzler has got a better start than B.R. Hamilton. B.R. Hamilton's on the inside. Dazzler will give him space on the inside. Dazzler on the outside, on the inside of turn 2. But look at B.R. Hamilton's going to try and cut back round the outside. Cut back, get into his slipstream as quickly as possible. Look at that. He's in the slipstream already. He's going to go to the right-hand side. Dazzler defends really early. Here he comes. Can it be around the outside for B.R. Hamilton? He's going to try to go around the outside. Let's see what he can do around the outside. He's reinforced off completely wide. Means that Ike's going to get amongst it as well. But it's going to be B.R. Hamilton on the inside of the next double right-hander. Is he going to go for it? He's going to go for it on the inside. It's wheel to wheel for the double right-handers. And it's B.R. Hamilton up into P1 for now. But look at that. Dazzler tries to get around the outside. Looks to the inside. It's all clean racing at lap 1. But they're all still going for it. Clean wheel to wheel racing. It's B.R. Hamilton on the outside up to the inside for the next corner. He keeps it on the inside. And a great battle. A great overtake by B.R. Hamilton. He had to fight for that one. But it's B.R. Hamilton who leads away from Dazzler in second place. IK in third. But a break back and ball has been taken out by somebody. I don't know who that was. But IK now in the slipstream of Dazzler. And he'll be looking to try to get past him as well. But a great battle between B.R. Hamilton and Dazzler on the first lap. Did not make contact. And a beautiful, just clean battle. That's what we need to see more of. But look at that. IK tries closing up into turn 1, but is too far back for now. But Beer Hamilton, look at that. Everyone's all training up. Everyone's staying within each other's slipstream for now. But IK's got a better run through turn 2 and turn 3. So look at that. He's in the slipstream of Dazzler. We'll try and go for it on the inside, but he's too far back for now. We have to wait for that important DRS activation point. But Maestro there in 4th place isn't too far behind either. Let's put some detail on and let's see. So at the moment, top 5 are super soft runners. But the soft runners are Mulder in 6th and Humperdinck in 7th. Once again, look at this. All very tight now. Maestro right behind IK. IK trying to chase down Aaron Dazzler. Look at that. Maestro is a lot better through mid-corner speed than the Williams driver in front of him. And Josu right there as well behind. So at the moment, the Supersofts will be have the advantage, but actually then Mulder looking pretty handy in these early stages on those soft tyres as Dazzler goes very wide to try and cut in for the last corner to get a better exit. But now Bear Hamilton is stormed away. He's trying to get that gap open to over 1 second to get out of that DRS activation point because he knows how important that is around here. DRS is very important if you want to make anything of your race around here. As now Bear Hamilton's the fastest of the race, 10.341. Now over a second gap to Dazzler behind him. But Dazzler got a better run for turn 2, and you know what? He's got the DRS, I think, on Bear Hamilton here. He actually has got the DRS, so he's staying within DRS activation for now. But look at how much it's all trained up. No one's got an opportunity as of yet. But let's watch that next long pit straight because that will be very important to see. That's the longest straight on this racetrack, so we can see an opportunity for anybody into turn 1. But right now, Dazzler's trying to get away from IK and looking like he is trying to build a gap, and he is building that gap at the moment to the driver behind. If anything, Maestro is closer to IK than is IK to Dazzler. But look at that. What's Mulder? Mulder in 6th, very tight, very close behind Josu. So he's definitely got an outside shot here, and you know what? He's doing a very good job in these early stages. So let's see how it all plays out with DRS now. So Dazzler will get DRS on Bear Hamilton ahead of him. But IK behind him will also get DRS. But look at that. The gaps kind of are sort of 7/10 between each of the top 4, really. 7/10 separating all 4 of them at the moment. That's the intervals between each driver. Again, nothing really happening here. Let's go to Mulder. That's how I see he's getting on. That's now Overkill's going to have a penalty for penalty for actually corner cutting. He's on the medium, the harder of the 2, harder of the 3 sets available. Again, Mulder very close behind, but not close enough. And this is what's happening. It's a bit of a stalemate at this point. Everyone's in each other's DRS, and no one's really out of DRS at the moment. So everyone's kind of staying within each other's DRS, not really giving an opportunity for anybody else. There's not really double DRS doesn't really help. A double toe does not really help around here because the straight isn't long enough. Right now, everybody's sort of maintaining position. It's all pretty stale. It's all a bit of a stalemate for now. But watch out for Mulder as the super soft wear out because he's going to have better tyres compared to everybody else because everybody else's tyres will be wearing out so quickly. So let's go back to the top guys again. Again, all very close. IK's dropped back a little bit from Dazzler. Dazzler staying within 0.8 of a second of Bear Hamilton. Once again, Maestro was staying with IK. IK is now a second back on Dazzler. Let's see if he can stay within a second. You know what? He's actually out of DRS here, I think, of Aaron Dazzler. Let's see where the activation was. Has he got DRS? No, he hasn't. So now, this is prime time for F1 Maestro if he wants to get on the podium here. It was so close to the podium in America, I think, barring penalties. So, yeah, he's going to be one to watch. He actually finished 3rd on track, but didn't get it on penalties. So Maestro really wants to get a podium. Maestro hasn't had a podium this season whatsoever, so it'd be nice to see him on the step of the podium. But look at that, look at the top 2 now. Dazzler and Hamilton within sort of 4/10 of each other, and it's got down to sort of 2/10 as well, even at that point. So this is a battle for the race win, and now Chris Packer-Jones has left the sessions. That's his race over and his season over. And if you forward back to season 4, this race wasn't particularly kind to him either from when he was battling for the championship. So really unfortunate second season in a row where Chris hasn't finished the Brazilian Grand Prix. Really unfortunate for him. He's had a pretty good run of form in the last few races, but it's been brutally unlucky here. But Bear Hamilton now under pressure. DRS activated for Aaron Dazzler, but again, just too far back on that main straight to make any sort of chance of it. Now needs a good run for turn 2 and turn 3. In the background, we've got Mulder and Josie battling away, and it looks like Mulder has actually got past him, but a 3-second penalty for Mulder isn't going to help his causes. But look at this. It looks like that just got a better run on him out of the turn 3. Looks to the inside, but he's just too far back for now. So Mulder into 5th place for now, but he has got a penalty at this point in the race, which is not ideal for him. But he's chasing after the top 4, which are Maestro, IK, Dazzler, and BRI Hamilton. Everyone else behind, very close in close proximity. Everybody's sort of staying within each other's slipstream and DRS. No one's been really able to break away, but if anything, Mulder's obviously 1.4 back from the top 4. But he'll be able to close that gap up as the super softs end up wearing off. He'll be able to sort of close it up later on into the stint. Once again, everyone's staying top 4 very close together. Dazzler is 6 tenths back. He'll have DRS in this one as well, as Hamilton defends really, really early. But it's all closed. He closes up in the slipstream and then DRS once again, but he's too far back. He needs a good exit for turn 2, ideally. That's where he can really mount an attack, but he's just too far back. He's wide line there, not a great exit this time round. Now the DRS once again, but he'll just close up a little tiny bit, and it's not going to be enough. And the one man that I think will be very irritated at the moment will probably be Maestro. He's sitting in 4th place, not able to get in the DRS of... Oh, he's in the DRS of IK, but isn't able to mount an attack because IK has DRS on Dazzler, who has DRS on BRI Hamilton. So it's all very much stalemated at the moment. No one's able to break the DRS. And at this point, it's very hard to overtake when everybody's close together. But here, Dazzler really closes up on BRI Hamilton. It's that middle sector where he seems to be a lot more confident, as if BRI Hamilton's running a little bit less wing down the straights, but it is very close now for the fast left-hander. He's a good exit through the last corner. A late turn-in for him to try and cut back on him. How's the exit for him? Not a great exit. It's within 6 tenths, but he's in the slipstream once again as BRI Hamilton gets out of slipstream. DRS activated for the Hastro once again, but he's closing and closing and closing up, but he's just too far back at this point. Going to stay behind him for yet another lap. Try and concentrate on getting a better exit through turn 2 as Humperdinck and Josu, Humperdinck's actually been able to get past Josu here, and now Josu's now under attack from Ginger Ninja. Let's go back to this battle instead. So Ginger Ninja got a better exit for turn 2, got the DRS, and so has Josu. Josu going to have to defend to the inside. Ginger Ninja on the outside now. Can he get around the outside? It's wheel to wheel, and it's going to be very, very tight indeed, and Josu for now keeps hold of position. So that was very, very tight indeed. Look at that. Ginger gets a better exit for that corner, but again, just too far back for now. But yeah, it looks like Joshua is dropping back a little bit, making a few errors here. But he's under a real attack from Ginger Ninja here. So far, not many overtakes made in this race. Probably about 2 or 3 so far. Not many. The pack behind Kaiser, Brumson and Overkills is pretty tight. Now, Ginger Ninja gets a better run through the last corner. He's got a really good opportunity now. So he's in the DRS. Going to have to make this move stick. Josu is a second back on Humperdinck. So this should be a good opportunity now. In the DRS, he goes to the right-hand side. This should be a done deal, surely. Is it done and dusted? It is, but Josu's not going to give up. He's going to drive bomb into turn 1. He's kept hold of it just for now, but now it's going to be about parking it all the way, and he has parked it big time, and it actually is helping out his teammate Kaiser here. So once again, in the slipstream, Kaiser's got a better exit on Ginger Ninja. Can he make the overtake stick? He's going to go for it. No, he's not going to go for it. It's so tight between these three. They really are going for it. Ginger Ninja right tucked up behind Josu now. Goes to the inside. Is he going to go up on the inside of the right-handers? Josu gives him the space and goes to the outside. Ginger Ninja does not go for that. Backs way out of that. Could end up in an absolute collision. So for now, Ginger Ninja stays behind. But it is all getting very close between these four. It is getting pretty tight. As look at that. Brumson's going to try and go around the outside of Kaiser here. Can he go around the outside? No, he cannot. He's on those mediums, bear in mind. So those mediums will be feeling better at this point. That's now become a almost 6-man battle. I think it's 1, 2, 3. It's a 5-man battle here for 7th place. Once again, look at this. Now Josu defending from Ginger Ninja in the slipstream and the DRS once again. He's closing and closing and closing and closing and closing. Goes to the inside. Gets it on the inside. It's been forced right to the wall. It's on the inside, just about hard. Fair racing. He's got the move done and dusted, but on the basically just to fight back here for Josu, he's got the best, he hasn't got a good exit compared to his teammate Kaisi, but he's in the slipstream, and there is loses the inside, he dives on the inside, but he doesn't completely commit to that in the end, but Kaisi gets a better run, Kaisi on the soft tyres instead, but can't make the move stick on his own teammate, so for now, Josu now actually is struggling on the inside. Now Kaisi on the inside of his own teammate. Keeps to the inside. Does he go on the inside? Kaisi goes on the inside as Josu looks up. And that should be a done deal. They're still will to will with each other. Josu on the inside. And Josu around the outside. And Kaisi around the outside. And that's a done deal. Bromson now on the inside of Josu now. And he's got that move done too. So it looks like Josu now is really, really struggling on those super softs. And he might want to think about pitting because he's losing positions left, right, and centre. Let's see, is he underwrap from Overkill's now? So Overkill's now in the slipstream now. Got the better run as we now got the sound glitch where we can't actually hear the engines properly. Goes around the outside, does he? He's in the slipstream DRS. And so let's go back to Kaisi as well. Kaisi looking for a move on the inside of Ninja, but he's too far back. Gets a better run for turn 2 and turn 3. So in the DRS once again. Let's see if he can make a move on the Hastrave in the DRS and the slipstream goes to the right hand side. And he's going to go for it round the outside. Is he on those soft tyres? And he's going to go round the outside. He makes a little bit of contact with the Hastrave. He's gone very much off wide. And then hit again. He's into the wall. That's his race over. And I don't know whose fault that was, but I do feel he went really, really wide. Tried to come back on circuit. And Ninja didn't give him the space, but I don't feel that's really Ninja's responsibility. If you're off circuit, you're off circuit, and you can't come back on into the space on the circuit again, in my opinion. So for now, collision between those two. I'm sure we'll hear about that in the chat afterwards. But Bromson now looking very good on his mediums. If anything, those soft tyres are working better at this stage of the race. Look how close Bromson is to the rear end of Ninja here. So gets a better exit. It was right on his rear end. Slipstream once again, so let's see if he can make a move on the Hash driver. He's got a good run here. He's gone for it, and actually, if anything, the Hash driver is actually just ghosted there. And it's a done deal as now the McLaren driver of Overkills gets the move done, or does he get the move done? He's got it done on the Hash as well, so the Hash driver loses 2 positions within a space of a corner or 2. So there you go. But now Overkills in the slipstream of Bromson now. So here he comes in the slipstream, DRS, everything he's got to the right hand side. Gonna try and go around the outside. Is he? Round the outside. Can he go around the outside? He can go around the outside. It's off the circuit a little bit. And it's still will to will for now. And we're heading to double right-handers. It's going to be Overkills on the inside. Better line for him at the moment. And it's still will to will round the double right-handers. It's on the inside for the next corner. And it's still going to be will to will, I think, as now Bromson is still on the inside of Overkills. But Overkills gets that move done. Keeps in 7th place for now. And that's him promoted. So let's go back to our top 4. So at the moment it's Hamilton, Dazzler, IK and Maestro. Notice have not changed positions at all, but Mulder has closed back in as now Maestro pits it in. And so does, I think, who else has pitted in? I think Mulder is staying out. IK and Bear Hamilton are both staying out there, I think, for now, as the gap between IK and Hamilton is now 3.6 seconds. That's actually quite a lot of time difference. But bear in mind, obviously Dazzler has pitted as well for the mediums. He's going to go to the end on the medium tyres. So now, Bear Hamilton going to try and get a good in-lap here, because he's going to be under threat by the undercut by F1 Maestro in particular, and Aaron Dazzler, who have both pitted this lap. So we're 13 laps in now, out of 36. We've got another 23 laps to go. Does now Barham needs to make sure he gets a good in lap here. He's 8 tenths out on his best. So now coming through the final couple of corners now, flat out. Looking better on his tyres than IK did. So into pit lane he comes now. So he needs a really good stop here and hope that he comes out in front of Dazzler and Hamilton. Is now no, he's got a penalty now. A 5 second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's not nailed that at all. That's going to cost him the victory here, and that's going to hand it to Aaron Dazzler. So the victory now is out of the window, in my opinion, for BR Hamilton. But you never know. Even a driver penalty, that'll be a 5 second penalty for the end of the race if he doesn't serve it. So it'd be 5 seconds of penalties for him. So he needs to make sure he gets a good in lap here, but he might have jumped him here. Let's see. Where is he in comparison? IK now is pitted. Maestro, where is he for turn 1, turn 2? Aaron Dazzler, where is he at? Izzy got it done? No, he hasn't. And Beer Hamilton has joined out in front of him by quite a long way. So if anything, the overcut worked better, but that could be a combination of speeding in the pit lane more than anything else. So that's not worked out at all for Aaron Dazzler. But at the moment, he is on for the victory on penalties. Now, it looks like ball is in Beer Hamilton's court. He now needs to stretch that gap out. Ben, what do you make of that?
Bit of a amateur mistake there from Hamilton, but it's easily done at this track. You know, you try and go as fast as possible, especially the pit lane like Brazil, which is so fast. Yeah, just a little bit, just overcooked it a bit, and he's got some work to do now, but he needs to get his head down and just pump the laps in, and he should be fine.
Exactly, yeah. Mulder now is in the lead of this race. 1.2 in front of the Humperdinck. Humperdinck is closing him down here. So the Humperdinck looking like it's got some good pace on those soft tyres. They're obviously very old. The mediums as well behind them, the medium runners, they're going to be very super quick towards the end of the race because they'll be able to switch onto the soft tyres for the end. But all these guys, the top 5 at the moment, will all pit and they'll have fresh tyres for the end of the race. They'll be definitely ones to watch towards the end. And particularly Mulder. Mulder had a very good opening stint on those softs. And Humperdinck's followed him actually around here. He's really followed him. So I'd like to see Mulder in for a good few laps now. I mean, he'd be able to go on set of mediums, and they'll be a lot fresher. I mean, he could still opt to pit in now if he chooses to, and he does actually pit in now. So he's got another, I think he's got like a lap or 2 fresh tyres on the mediums. That might make a difference around here. There's a lot of high-speed corners, and there's a lot of stress on the tyres around this track. So into the pit lane he comes. Serves his stop. He should be easily behind people like Aaron Dazzler and F1 Maestro and Beer Hamilton. Dazzler fast up the race, 10.2, so he's on up to speed on those mediums. So Mulder comes out. Where is he going to come out now? Come out P6, P7, actually behind Maestro. Yeah, behind Maestro. And you know what? He's not far behind Maestro now. He might just come out in front of IK. Does he come out in front? He does come out in front of IK. That actually has really worked out for Mulder now because IK was battling on for the podium. And now Mulder is into a net P3 for now. So this strategy's really worked out. The actual overcut has really worked on those soft tyres. The medium runners seemingly struggling on those early laps. So the medium tyres not really faring too well in their first few laps, taking a few laps to bed in, and as that's happened, and the older people on the older tyres and the older softs have really just nailed it. You see Ike is all over the back of Mulder, as Mulder's not up to speed on those mediums. It's amazing he gets a facing time penalty, as now Ike is really wide. But he'll be one to watch now, up this DRS straight, as now Brumson and Overkills are battling it away seemingly up front. So Mulder now it's been under threat by IK now. No DRS for him, but IK will have DRS on him instead. Let's see, can IK get this overtake done? It's going to be around the outside, so Mulder does defend early. Going to try and cut back now and get a better line through turn 3. So here he goes. Gets a better line through turn 3 in the slipstream. He'll have the DRS as well. This is going to be a great opportunity for IK to get past him. He goes to the right hand side. Mulder very aggressively defends really well. But he's on the inside instead. A battle wheel to wheel. And it's going to be on the inside. And you know what? IK has not been able to pull it off. Mulder stays in P7 for now. Great defending by Mulder indeed. And he knows how important it is for him to keep hold of this position because he's in a very good position if he wants to go on and try and challenge for the victory at the end of the race. Dazzler now is quite far back on BR Hamilton, 1.7 back, and now Dazzler's right behind the Amazement, who's stretched out those soft tyres. He'll be surely putting it in this lap. There should be absolutely dead. As now Dazzler makes a mistake. It's on very deep into the last corner, so that isn't going to help his causes. So now the Amazement, does he box it in? He does not. Continues to hold up for Dazzler. As now BR Hamilton's fast up a race, 10.257. Look at this. Amazement is struggling on those tyres now, so this should be an easy move by Aaron Dazzler in the slipstream and the DRS. Go attack it. Is he to the inside? Yes, he does. He goes to the inside, and there we go. Done deal. Up into 4th place now. And that is the best provisionally 2nd place in this race. But he needs to keep within 5 seconds of BR Hamilton if he is to win this race. because Bear Hamilton has got a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane, but that'll become a 5-second penalty if he doesn't serve that drive-through. Now back with top two, Overkills and Brumson have been battling away a little bit. They're keeping close together, both on the same strategy. Both on the mediums, and they've been on the same mediums for a very long time. They probably will be looking to pit in pretty soon. 18 laps to go in this race. There'll be 17 after this one, so they probably will have to go another lap, I think, on these mediums before pitting. Look at this. Brumson once again gets a better exit. And you know what? I think Overkills has been overtaken pretty comprehensively. If anything, I think Overkills has let Brumson go here. Let's keep with these two. They're continuing the battle here. So Overkills needs a better exit for turn 2 and turn 3. He's got a pretty good run. And now Mulder gets a good lap there. 1 minute 9.948. And look at this. Look at this overspeed. Overkills gets. That's an insane overspeed. And gets that done and dusted on Brumson. Look, a great battle these two are going. They're really squabbling away for position. But they'll probably pit this lap, I would believe. They probably need to, because if they don't, they'll be too far down the order and there'll be too much of a gap to catch up. But they'll be able to be put on that soft tyre. Overkills now wrapping it up, defending against Brumson. Dazzler, the gap between B.R. Hamilton and Dazzler, which is the fight for the victory, is 2.2 seconds. Really Dazzler needs to keep with B.R. Hamilton, but I've got a feeling B.R. Hamilton's just got a little bit more extra pace in his pocket. But it means that penalty means that he has to push a bit extra, and that's not a risk you want to take now. Look at this. Overkills leads from the inside, and they continue the battle for another lap. So they're going one more extra lap. This lap, surely, they're going to have to pit it. So again, Overkill, I guess it's going to be basically a second version of what happened last lap. Gets a better exit for turn 2 and turn 3, which he does do, in the slipstream. And then another DRS once again, goes to the left-hand side. And yeah, look at that. Easy move, done and dusted. These two are just kind of feeding off, almost working with one another and just feeding off each other's slipstream to try and hopefully get the overcut. That's what they're trying to achieve. Humperdinck now gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. These tyres will be absolutely dead because look at that. B.R. Hamilton's only 2.7 behind now, these two. And I'm just fearing this is too much. And with 16 laps to go, they'll be on the soft tyres. Yes, they'll be fresher, but by the end of the race, they'll be absolutely worn to hell. They need to pit it in because they're going to be. You can see B.R. Hamilton actually just coming into the picture. He's not far behind. You can see, look how close he is. They need to pit it now. They don't want to be a pit stop behind. Let's see what they do here. Do they pit? Do they not? Let's see. No, they continue for another lap. So they continue the battle for yet another lap. Again, same thing applied. They you saw Overkills let Brumson go, and then Brumson gets DRS'd by Overkills here. Gets the better run, but actually, you know what? He might not have the better run here. Does he have the better run? No, he doesn't. You know what? Brumson stays in front for now. So he didn't get the best of runs with turn 3 for Overkills. So stays behind Brumson for now. But you can see how quickly B.R. Hamilton's closing in now. This has to be the lap that they pit. Once again, Overkill's trying his absolute best. Let's see if they pit in this lap. They surely will pit in. 15 to go. It'll be 14 at the end of this lap. Let's see what they do. And you know what? Overkill's continued on for another lap, but Brumson pits it in. So the gap is going to be 1.8 between the top two, the two McLaren drivers. I think this has to be the last lap he does on those tyres. It'll be really quick towards the end. He might get the overcut on Brumson at the end, because he actually... Brumson will be struggling on a set of soft, potentially, but then again, it might not work that way because the soft is a softer compound, so it might not work that... He might be he'll probably be easily undercutted. Generally, Brumson was actually in front of Overkill, so there's no such thing as an overcut. He's been maintaining position. Again, everything's all sort of set onto everyone's groove. Everyone's pitted now, apart from Overkills. He'll be pitting in this lap, surely. Through the fast right-hander, now going into the final upper corner of the circuit. Down the final corner now, let's see, building at the speed. For the fast left-handers now coming into the pit lane, surely now has to pit it in. And you know what? He does not pit it in. He continues on for yet another lap on those mediums. He's really risking it. Brumpton's done in 8th, 9th place. That's where he would roughly come out overkills if he were to pit. But he's fair, he's not driving badly on these mediums. They are struggling for grip, a little bit of oversteer in them. But he isn't struggling. He really doesn't want to get in a battle with his own teammate, really. To help his own strategy, he needs to not battle his own teammate. You can see everybody else sort of gapping each other, sort of 2.3, 2.2. You can see with Beer Hamilton's got 1.7 gap to overkills, but then behind does his 2.3 behind Beer Hamilton, and then further back 2.1 seconds back is Mulder, but he's got the fresher tyres, so watch out for him. Maestro down in 5th place, 1.4 back, and IK in 6th, 1.5 back. So they've all gapped each other really. They'll all win their own race. There's 13 to go. Now overkills. Does he pit it in this lap? The gap, you know, is only 1.6 seconds. He hasn't closed up big time. That's why he hasn't pitted, you know. But yeah, he's pitting it in then. He's pitting it in now. So that's about time. So he pits it in. Stops it on the marks. Done and dusted. So let's see. Into the pit lane he comes. Drives it in. Set off soft tyres on there. Super soft tyres. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So he was going on the super soft instead. Fair enough. He's going to be super quick then. So let's see where he comes out in comparison. Is he behind? He's behind Brumpton. He's behind Josu. Is he going to be behind Ginger Ninja? That's the question. And you know what? He will be, I think. Because look at that. Ginger Ninja in the slipstream already. He's going for it on the inside. Is he going to go on the inside? He's gone for it. But it's important that overkill stays in front. He does stay in front. Fresh tyres. Jackster. There's actually an 8.888 on super soft. So that's how fast they are in comparison to every other compound out there. So now, Overkill's got a very quick race car. He's got 12 laps to go. All to play for. He can do this. He might even be able to get on the podium here. So let's turn back our eyes to IK and Humperdinck. Humperdinck actually has been able to get past IK, I think. But IK has made a mistake around here. And he's really right out of the last corner. That's probably why he's going wide a lot. And he's really struggling now. So not ideal. LCR Robinson is 4.7 behind. So he's closing up on his soft. But meanwhile, Overkill's going for a different strategy. Going a little bit longer on the super soft. So he's going to have a really super quick race car. Now Mulder gets a 3 time penalty. I think that's the second of the race. That's not helping because now Maestro is right in position to take home a podium if things will work out, because Humperdinck isn't far behind, so he's still got a race on Maestro if he wants this podium. Ben, are you there?
I am.
Check some penalties for me. Can you check Aaron Dazzler and... Can you check Aaron Dazzler, please? And... Yeah. Just check Aaron Dazzler.
Dazzler has a penalty.
So Beer Hamilton's got the 5 seconds stop and go. So actually at this point he will still in the race because the gap's 2.2. So by the time his penalties are applied, Dazzler won't win this race.
Wait, so wait. Did Hamilton serve his stop and go?
No.
But he's got another penalty as well.
Has he? He's got 2.
Yeah.
So he's got 8 seconds worth of penalties. Yeah, this race is actually, yeah.
Mulder has
You're right.
2.
Dazzler. Mulder has 2. Maestro, does he have any? I don't think he has. I haven't seen him pop up on the screen.
No, he hasn't. So.
Yeah, he's looking good at this point then. But he's 2.9 back. He'd definitely be on. He'd be on for 3rd. But yeah, that's not good for Hamilton. That's 8 seconds worth of penalties around here, and that means that he's gonna be finishing way behind Dazzler and even behind Mulder. He might even be second place for Maestro if things carry on. Being very, very good for him. Again, gaps. Everyone's all in their own race. The IK staying with Humperdinck. That's our closest battle on circuit for now. But everybody's just kind of in their own rhythm. 10 more laps to go. Rounding up the season now. And now Hampton flies through the last corner. and starts lap 27. So everyone's just kind of in their own groove. Watch out for Mulder and Dazzler. Mulder is close to Dazzler now, so this could be another battle to watch. Just keep with these two. Bear in mind, Mulder's on the fresh tyres by like, at least 3 laps, so he's going to be better in the end of the race. Overkill's down to 8th, closing down on Brumpson. But Overkill has made short work of Josu. The gap between Mulder and Maestro is at 3.5. That gap's increased a little bit. So Maestro just needs to keep plugging away and keep there. Because right now, I think he is on for the podium. I think so, just about. Because it'll be either he'll get it on Bill Hamilton's penalties or Mulder's penalties. Once again, look how close Mulder is now. So he's really trying to get a move done on Dazzler, because what he wants to do is just try and get away from Maestro so he can actually get on the podium. At this point, he definitely won't be. Now, Mulder in slipstream and the DRS of Aaron Dazzler now, so let's see what he can do. He's right behind him. He's not far behind. He's within half a second. So let's go on board with the top driver himself. He's closing up and closing and closing, but he's too far back. Going to turn 1. Needs a good run for turn 1, turn 2, and he's got a shout at this race victory. On penalties, I think he would just win it at the moment. So once again, closing and closing, but too far back for now, so he's going to stay behind him. You know what? He's made a mistake. Dazzler's made a mistake. He's gone too wide, and there you go. Torres, the driver of LCR Mulder, has got in front of Aaron Dazzler there. Dazzler makes a mistake under the pressure, blocks up, and that means that Mulder is into second place, and he's going to be hunting down BLR Hamilton for the race victory here at Brazil. So good move, and that shows pressure can get to you indeed. Now Mulder needs to pull it away from the Haas driver if he wants to keep hold of this position, because DRS is, as we've seen, very, very powerful indeed. So now Mulder will try and push on, try and bring the gap open. It's now 6/10 out of the last corner. It's a good exit through here. Does he get a good exit? He actually has got a very good exit, as now Kaiser left the session. But there you go. 8/10 the gap. He'll slap DRS. Still not over yet. Lap 29 of 36. 7 more laps to go. Mulder through turn 1. The gap is closed down a tiny little bit. But you know what? I think he's got a good run turn 2 and turn 3. Yes, he has. So he's safe for now. But he'll be hunting down BLR Hamilton. And as it stands, BLR Hamilton has 8 seconds plus penalties. Mulder has 6 seconds. So as it stands, at the gaps we've got, Mulder would win. But pending penalties, this order will definitely change. Maestro's definitely in a shout for the podium too. That'll probably come from Mulder and Hamilton. But as things stand, I think, by my calculations, let's see. I think as things stand, Maestro will be actually on for second place on penalties, but he's got to keep the gap. And that's going to be very difficult when you're not actually in DRS, because he's way out of the DRS zone. He's got no DRS to use, and these guys will be feeding off each other's DRS. Apart from Hamilton and Mulder and Dazzler will be feeding off each other's DRS, so it's kind of tight here. The gap 1.5, the gap is closing. So Mulder really wants to get on with this. He wants to get past BLR Hamilton as soon as he can. And he has got the fresh tyres as well. He's tuning up fresh tyres. That makes a big difference. Seemingly, that is making the difference at this stage, because he's closing up so quickly on the McLaren driver. Battle between Overkills and IK. IK has been overtaken by Overkills. So Overkills now in 7th place, behind Brumpson. This is another one to watch. And you know what? I don't think Overkills is far behind now. This will be overtake for P6. And then it's going to be in front of him a pretty easy job of getting past Humperdinck and even potentially Maestro. If he can really close it up in these last 6 laps, it's going to be a very tight challenge. It's going to be very hard, and he has got a penalty, I think, over Kills. So it isn't going to be easy. As now the Amazement gets another penalty. He's down in 12th. He's having a miserable time of things. Let's go back to our lead battle for first and second. Good exit near for turn up from the last corner, but he hasn't got it, Mulder, so he's within DRS just about. He's closing up now, down this straight, but he's too far back to make a move. Needs a good run for turn 1, turn 2. Got a pretty good run now, gets a good exit. Actually, no, not really. Sort of 8 tenths back, so we'll get the DRS once again as Hamilton really defends very early. Just break that DRS. Now you can see the better grip from those fresher mediums are really doing justice for Mulder here. And now Overkills and Bromson have a bit of a battle here. So look at that. Bromson's been overtaken by Overkills. So now Overkills is now 6th place. This is a great chance for him to get into 5th. He's only 1.7 back on Humperdinck. Fresher tyres as well. So this is a great opportunity with 5 laps to go. It's still, he's going to have to work really hard. But he is closing up on Humperdinck. 1.5 seconds the gap between those two. So that is closing up really rapidly as well. Bromson, though, is staying with him, but obviously our traction corners, it's going to be better for Overkills. You can see Bromson's within 6 tenths, so it's still kind of tight. But let's go back to our lead battle. There's Mulder and Hamilton battling away. Let's go on board. They're still battling. It's side by side. Mulder's on the inside of Hamilton, and he's got that move done. Very good move by LCR Mulder. We actually just saw the last part of that. Had the DRS on the inside. Done deal. Now, Hamilton, can he mount an attack back on him? Let's see what he can do. Let's go on board, but no, he cannot. He's too far back. So, Mulder leads the way from Hamilton in 2nd place, changing positions. And as it stands on penalties, Mulder will still win the race. Well, maybe not, actually. Again, it's still unknown at this point on penalties if he would, but he would be still in front of Hamilton. So, our podium is definitely on for Mulder and Hamilton. But Mulder who has the better chance of it because of the penalties as they stand. But he's breaking away. Look how fast he's going. He's now 8 tenths up the road, and it might even be a second at the last corner if he gets a better run out of it. And you know what? I think he might have just stretched it out to a second nearly. Yeah, it's still 8 tenths, so he still have DRS for Hamilton. He needs to stay within the DRS if he wants to still try and get in front of him. But if anything, it might not be worth it. Lap 33 or 36 to go. 3 more to go here of this spectacular ILR2 Season 5 Championship. Needs a good exit for here. Hamilton gets a good run, but he's not close enough here. He's not a good opportunity. As Overkill's got past Humperdinck, he's now cruising after F1 Maestro in his last 3 laps. It's 2.8 he needs to close up on, and you know what? He has got a chance to do this. He's going to have way better tyres than those 20-lap-old mediums that Maestro and Dazzler even have got on his past. So you never know. Whether it's not to get Dazzler, I'm not sure. It might be yellows into the 3. Who's that for? Probably someone towards the end of the grid. Oh, it's Amazement. He spat it. So he's kind of, again, a really bad race. Ginger Ninja gets a 5th time penalty. So Hamilton staying within LCR Mulder. Again, too far back, needs a good run through the last corner. You know what? He's closer than he was this time lap ago, so it's definitely an opportunity. He's there. He got the toe. But again, 7 tenths isn't easy. DRS once again, closing and closing. Needs a good run for turn 1 and turn 2. That 34, 36 now, so we're getting towards the end of this race. And as things stand, I think Dazzler would win this race just about, I think maybe actually he's got penalties. I don't think he would win it either. Maybe not. He might do. Hard to say. So, Hamilton stays behind Mulder for now. 7 tenths to gap. And now Humperdinck and Bromson are battling away. Let's go to those two. It looks like Humperdinck has got past him, but Bromson will try and get back at him. But Humperdinck, on older mediums, managed to get past Bromson. Bromson must have made a mistake unless he's really struggling on those softs. Must be really struggling on those softs if he's been overtaken on pace by those mediums. They're way old. Yeah, let's keep with these two. This is a tight battle now, so let's keep with these two. Ginger Ninja and Jaxter are battling away, seemingly. But Ginger Ninja on the fresher softs looking faster than those older super softs. Oh, as Bromson loses the rear end. Jesus Christ. Oh, keep that out of the wall, just about. That's very lucky indeed. Does he have DRS? He will. The activation. There's now Hamilton gets another penalty. It's another 3-second one. That's gonna knock him off the podium. That's definitely looking at he's not gonna get the podium today, I don't think. Bromson gets a penalty for extending as well, so there we go. That might be the end of that battle, but look at this, Overkills and Maestro. Overkills is going to try and upset the apple cart now on Maestro, and Maestro really doesn't want it, but now Overkills gets another penalty. It's another penalty for him. It's 2 penalties in this race for Overkills. So even if he does get past Maestro, it's not going to be worth it, because he isn't going to be ahead of him by the end of the race. Let's get back to our lead driver, Mulder, staying in front of BR Hamilton. Penultimate corner, last corner now of this lap, and now rounding it up. You're going to start the last lap of this race. The gap is now 1.1, so it's out of DRS, so he should be comfortably on for crossing the line in first place. Whether that means victory, we don't know. On penalties, maybe not. So now Mulder through turn 1 in 3rd gear. Now he needs to really just mount it and hope for the best. At this point, he doesn't know what other people have got on penalties, so at the moment he is thinking to himself, this is the race victory, but he knows he is in danger on penalties, so it might not work out that way. Now Maestro and Overkills are battling away, so that's going to help this. This might mean that he actually does it. So Mulder now carrying through the fast right-handers for the final time here in Brazil. Now through the right-hander now, keeping it steady on traction now through the left, getting the better traction. He's pulling it away from McLaren, so the McLaren driver of BR Hamilton cannot do anything. And on penalties, he cannot do anything. He's a good exit through here, and now through the fast right-hander. A little bit oversteer seemingly for the Toros driver, but it's looking very good. Last corner now, here he comes. Last corner now, and now rounding it up for and ending this ILR2 season for season 5. What a great season it's been, and LCR Mulder is going to come to the line to win the final race of the season. But will it be on penalties? He crosses the line to win in Brazil, ahead of BR Hamilton in 2nd place. Aaron Dazzler, where is he going to finish? Is he going to finish? In 2nd he does. Overkills in 4th ahead of Maestro, but was it going to be on penalties? It's going to be Maestro in 3rd. Maestro gets it. In he gets on the podium on penalties. Overkills in 7th on penalties. Brompton in 6th in the end gets it on penalties. IK in 8th. Josu in 9th. And it's going to be Ginger Ninja in 10th, I think. But they're still battling away. The Jackster and Ginger Ninja. It's going to be a run to the line here. Let's keep on board with these two. Let's go on board with it. So let's see. Can Jackster get to the line? He's in the slipstream. He's towing and towing and towing. He's too far back. But he'll get 10th, I think, on penalties in the end. There you go. That has been your Brazilian Grand Prix. And finally, Maestro gets a penalty, gets a podium this season. So well done to him. But Ben, let's round up the final results and let's get the top 3 in the party.
Yay!
The final podium of the season. And let's get them in the party as well.
Alrighty then, so LCR Mulder wins the last race of season 5 with Dazzler in 2nd place. Maestro taking his first podium of the season, I believe. BR Hamilton in 4th, Humperdinck in 5th, Wilmson in 6th, Overkills in 7th, Josu 8th, LK in 9th, Jackster in 10th, Ginger Ninja in 11th, and The Amazement in 12th. With the rest being retirements.
Very good though, but yeah, that race was tight, and well done to Mulder getting the victory in the end, just about on penalties. Ahead of Dazzler in 2nd. Maestro finally getting a podium this season. He's been struggling all season to get one. But BR Hamilton, you know, feel for him, but obviously spinning in the pit lane has messed up the race for him, and you know he won. He came 2nd on track, but unfortunately has to just keep up with 4th and just be happy with 4th really, and that's unfortunate for him. But we'll get the top 3 in. Big well done to Mulder, because that was a great victory for him, and he was definitely a championship contender earlier in the season, but unfortunately with not being able to start for some races and being away for some races, he's not been able to do anything, but he's had a good pace. Let's get in Maestro as well. Aaron Dazzler. Yo, yo, yo.
Hello.
Don't know if Dazzler has a mic. He might not have a mic. Try and do it again. Ben, do you want to do the podium interviews or actually Mulder? I don't think Mulder's got a mic, has he? No, he doesn't. No, he does not.
I'm not too fussed.
I'll do him. It's cool.
Alright.
Mulder, if you wanna put in a thing in the chat on the party, then I'll read that out at the end if you like. Okay, let's start off with Aaron Dazzler. Comes home in second place in the end. Mate, decent race for you. Very good qualifying. Put it on pole. Kept there on the podium for the majority of the race. How was that race for you in the end? If he's there.
It was alright. I mean, I didn't do a lap of practice, so I mean, it was a bit unexpected. Yeah, I mean, I probably could have or should have won the race, but I don't know if you saw, I just kept locking up. My pedals felt so light, but that's probably because I haven't really been playing the game. And yeah, it was a bit undeserved, but P2 somehow.
That's good, man. I mean, victory obviously just out of your grasp in the end. But I mean, how this weekend, this race actually in general, getting the pole position and getting on the podium. I mean, how much? I mean, going into F1 2019 now. I mean, how happy are you getting this, getting the game cycle out of the way? And second of all, how looking forward to your, how are you looking forward to F1 2019? How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it was a decent way to finish. Glad don't have to play this game again after Sunday. It's just trash. And then the new game. I don't know. See how it is first. See what I'll do. If it's bad, I might wait a season and then start on the second season of the game. But yeah, see how it is.
Have you got the beta? Question.
Yeah, I've got the beta. Hardly played it.
Yeah. Fair enough,
It's
mate.
alright.
I mean, hopefully we see you in. It's all right. The handling's not bad. It's fine. But generally, I mean, going into, hopefully we'll see you back in ILR next season. And obviously today, good pace by you once again. And I think you've been a bit unlucky this season as well in terms of results. But today again, you finally it kind of came together just about. But it's a shame you couldn't get that victory in the end, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not been a great season. I've been involved in like some instance that I couldn't really do much about, and then a weird one last week. But yeah, not really bothered. Just racing for fun, and congrats to LCR Mulder and the winner Maestro in third.
Nice, mate. Thanks, mate. On to F1 Maestro. Finally on the podium after a drought this season of no podium. Mate, finally came together. You've had a run of like fourth places this season as well. So, how happy are you to be back on the podium in ILR after being off it for pretty much the entire season?
Unbelievably happy, yeah. It's a great result to end the season and my career in ILR as well. I did one more lap of practice than Aaron. I got home at 10 past 7 and did a lap of Brazil on Grand Prix, so I was very prepared. Qualifying went reasonably well. Got a lap in at the end, and the race just managed to keep out of trouble at the start. Undercut LK, but Mulder was way too quick, as obviously he demonstrated by going on to win the race, so he got past. But I knew Aaron had a penalty, and I briefly got within 3 seconds, but then my tyres died, and I thought it was all over. I thought I was going to go podiumless throughout the whole season, which I'd only have myself to blame for because of stupid penalties in Austria and last week as well. But luckily, Hamilton managed to pick up a huge number of penalties, so I came across the line and got promoted to third, which is an amazing way to end the season and my career. As I say, it means quite a lot to me, given I've had not the greatest season. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone involved in ILR over the past 2 seasons for making it so enjoyable. Obviously, I won the championship last season. Not quite the same this season, but still very enjoyable nonetheless. And I hope next season goes on to be just as exciting as the previous two.
Nice, mate. Nice. Yeah, it's been a hard season to watch for you, for us actually to watch for you, because obviously it's just been just unlucky. Obviously, you mentioned penalties and stuff like that as well, but finally it all came together today. I mean, competitive grid as well this season. I mean, how has your pace transitioned from last season to this season? Do you feel you've improved much, or is that been what's been the main difficulty for you this season compared to last?
Um, my pace has stayed pretty similar, and other people have got better. I could say I practice less, which is true, but that's not an excuse really. Other people have just improved, especially over kills, and he's demonstrated that by winning the championship. New driver's been very quick as well. Mulder, Jack, Aaron as well, of course. So those guys weren't here last season, so that throws something else into the mix. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to defend my championship. I was happy just to win a title in league racing, but glad to have a reasonably competitive and consistent season throughout. Um, so yeah, not disappointed, but because I wasn't expecting to defend the title, as I said, but maybe it could have been better in some races.
Nice, mate. Yeah, and like I said, been great to watch you to race this season, and I obviously wish you the best in your last race on Sunday. I think in AOR, isn't that? So,
Yeah.
if good luck for that one as well, and we'll hopefully see you around. Whether you'll be in a capacity in the F1 League racing in a management role or something like that, would be quite interesting to see. I mean, is that something you'd be looking into potentially, management, or is it just like you just gonna call it a day completely?
I might continue coordination, maybe an AOR, maybe commentary. I haven't decided yet. I'm not even planning on getting the new game for a couple of months, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you very much for the kind words, and I now need to head off because I've got dinner. Hope speak to you guys later.
Yeah, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Right. LCR Mulder, he's put some stuff in the chat. Let me just read those out. So he put here, I knew the strategy was super soft and medium, but I decided to start on softs. Lost 1/10 in sector 3, so could have started on third on softs or so. In the race with softs, weren't very fast at the start, but after I pitted for mediums, had quite a good pace, so I'm really happy. Happy with the win on the final round of the season. Maybe if I didn't battle Airtel Australia and raced every race, I could have battled overkills a bit more for the championship. And that I would probably agree with. I think Mulder has had pace this season, been there and scored a few victories, and that's his third victory this season. So if everything worked out, it probably would have been a tighter battle in the end for him. So well done to him and as well on securing the race victory. But Ben, have you got any final words? Any final questions for Dazzler?
Congrats to both of you. It was a really, really exciting race. I think penalties really did play a part today. Dazzler, especially you today, man. You did very, very well, and I'm very, very impressed with you. And I hope you continue with the pace next season.
Cheers.
And also, I think this will be my last commentary. I think so. I've had a very good time commentating over these amazing quick guys. But you never know. I might be joining them next season. You never know.
Never know. Anyway,
Never
that
know.
wraps things up, I think. I think, again, just to wrap up this whole F1 2018 era, these last two seasons for ILR, season 4 last season was a thriller. This season, again, was pretty good as well. Not so good as last season, because we had so many championship rivals, actually 8 people going for the championship last season, which was insane. This tier has proven, for the past 2 seasons, it's probably the most competitive tier in ILR, in my opinion. But we're back next season for season 6 on F1 2019. Join us back then, and we'll see you at Melbourne for season 6.